boys and girls, welcome back to an episode of Tech Support 101. Today's a little special segment I like to call TechTalks. Yeah, a bit cheesy, I know, yeah. But anyways, today's topic for our Tech Talk is cloud storage and cloud security. So, without further ado, let's get started. So, the topics we will be covering in this episode is how cloud services work, specifically cloud storage, and the problems that arise in cloud storage. We'll also be talking about advantages and possibly the reasons why you should buy or purchase a subscriptionship to certain cloud service providers. So, first of all, what is cloud service? Cloud service is any type of service made available via the internet from a cloud computing service provider that is basically broken down into 4 types: software, data, platform, and the one we will be talking today about, storage. Storage is a very vast and open space. So I've actually broken the word cloud into an acronym. C for computer, L being login, O being offsite, U being uploaded, and D finally being downloaded. Now I'm going to go into each of these in much detail. So C, as I said before, stands for computer in our 5-word acronym. So I'm talking about your desktop, laptops, smartphones, and tablets. The thing that recognizes that the cloud can be accessed through all of these in terms of storage. And the great part is, if you decide to save your files to the cloud, you can access them from anywhere in the world. There is really no reason that you can't access certain information that you have stored in the cloud, unless, of course, in the case that you don't have access to internet. And that quite summarizes the computing part, or the computer part of the cloud. So as far as logging in and getting set up on any of these cloud internet storage providers, you just need to provide your personal information, your email address, and a password. Now remember, you're going to be saving and downloading files from the cloud. You're going to want to make sure that you have a good password, because anything that you save to the cloud, if you have a weak password, somebody else can hack into that and they'll have access to your files, your own personal information, your email address, things like that you generally don't want them to get information to. So make sure you have a great password. By what I mean for a great password is at least a 12-character password consisting of uppercase letters, lowercase letters, numbers, and definitely special characters as well. A dash or maybe an alias sign, which can really be helpful in confusing a hacker if by any chance they really do want to hack into your account. So in terms of login, what do they provide? What do cloud service providers actually provide? So the 4 main cloud service providers out there right now are OneDrive, Google Drive, iCloud, and Dropbox. Now, if you're using OneDrive, you're probably using it for the reason that you have a Windows OS. OneDrive is developed by Microsoft, thus is integrated for the Windows OS. Thus, if you do have sort of a working flow that requires you to share information with others or store a heavy amount of information, OneDrive is the way to go. Now, Google Drive can be stored on any Android device. It's extremely accessible on any other device, whether it be Windows or Mac or Apple. It's there. It's available in apps, desktop websites, and etc. Now, another one for Mac users is iCloud. Now, iCloud is also integrated into Mac, and it is already built into any Mac or Apple product out there. This doesn't mean that you can't download it on Microsoft or Windows OS. Apple does sell their iCloud software to any user on Windows OS for free on their store. And maybe one of the most popular other ones is Dropbox. Now, Dropbox is universal and they provide 2 GB at the start when you do sign up for the free subscription package which compared to iCloud's 5, Google Drive's 15, and OneDrive's 5 seems a little bit short. And the reason you may be using Dropbox is it was one of the first major cloud service providers out there when the cloud service providing era did arrive. Now, our third letter in our 5-letter acronym is O, and O stands for offsite. Now, what offsite means is the site where your data is stored. Remember that cloud storage enables you to store data not on your computer, that's saving space, but on another site, maybe in an entirely different country, very, very far from you. And the benefits of this is, of course, it saves storage space on your computer, so you can save other works on your computer, at the same time being able to store all your other works or collaborations with other people on a cloud service provider. The other thing is disaster recovery. So it improves disaster recovery for the main reason that if a house were to be flooded or go through an earthquake, etc., basically any natural disaster, you may lose your physical hard drive. A physical hard drive that may look like this. This is not waterproof, neither is it indestructible. I bet you even a little bit of water could fry all the memory in this. Thus, when you do save your information on a cloud service provider, it is stored offsite, away. And you have to remember that a cloud service provider has many backups. So it's not just stored in one place, but multiple places as well. Next, it increases collaboration. Some of you may already know that Google Drive lets you work with many people at the same time, as well as OneDrive and as well as Dropbox. This is specifically useful if you want to work with projects in, let's say, big teams, and the teams are far away and can't meet up in one place, and allows everyone to contribute something to a certain project. So the drawbacks of having an offsite cloud service provider or just every single cloud service provider is the fact that there are potential security threats, they require internet connection, and of course the terms of agreement that you may not exactly agree to. I'll go much more deeper later in the episode on other drawbacks you may have in cloud security in general. Another extremely important part of cloud storage is uploading, and that's what our next word U stands for. Now, what uploading means, it is basically transferring data from your computer to another large computer, which we call the cloud. Now, why is uploading important? Well, obviously the answer is quite simple, because if you are subscribed to a plan on a cloud storage provider, you need to upload your data to the cloud storage provider to use the cloud storage. Now, it's important to remember that the symbol you see right now on the screen is a universal sign for the cloud or uploading to the cloud. It's a cloud with some arrows pointing upwards. Now, whenever you see this, click it and your files will immediately upload to another location, probably, definitely your cloud service provider. And finally, our last word in our acronym is downloading, which is the D in cloud. Now, downloading is also extremely important if you use cloud storage providers. Now, you don't just store data in cloud storage providers just to leave it there. As I said before, collaboration is a major key part in cloud services. So, what most cloud services allow you to do is download files you've already saved. So you can upload all your files to your cloud service provider and then immediately download them back. So they're not permanently stored in that cloud service provider forever. You can still access them on your computer, and if you choose, to keep them on your computer much later if you decide. So now let's move on to the advantages and disadvantages of cloud storage in general. So advantages of cloud storage are, firstly, you don't need to carry memory sticks around with you if you want to access your files away from home. As I said earlier, you can access your files anywhere in the entire world, of course with the exception that you need internet. Also, you don't have to pay for large storage capacity on your computer, tablet, or mobile phone. Well, you may argue that a certain hard drive like this may be cheaper in the long run. Agreed, but to a certain extent. A 1TB C8 hard drive that is decent looking and has a USB 3.0 cable attached to it costs as much as $104. And that's a lot. But then again, subscriptions do cost a lot. Like an iCloud storage for 2TB is $9 a month. And in the long run, that would be $120 a year, which is $60 a terabyte if you do the math correctly. Yes, if you did wait 2 years with that cloud service provider, it would extend or overlap the cost of having a hard drive like this one. But then again, you're paying for convenience. That extra cost that you're paying for in a cloud service provider is for the convenience that you can access it anywhere, and the security that you can have that if a natural disaster occurs, this won't get damaged. Your data won't just disappear due to the fact that your hard disk got destroyed in an accident, but instead it's stored in multiple backups by them, and it's their worry if something were to occur to your data. Also, as I said before, the ability to synchronize or sync files ensures that they are automatically updated across all devices. This means that the latest version of a file saved on the desktop PC, for example, is also available on other devices such as a smartphone that a friend may have or you just may have as well. And due to the fact that you can synchronize files, it immediately leads to collaboration, which I also talked about before. But in spite of all these obvious advantages to the amazing cloud storage, there are still security worries about using the service. The main fears are data security and data loss. So first of all, data security. Companies that transfer vast amounts of confidential data from their own systems to a cloud service provider are effectively relinquishing control of their own data over security. This raises a number of questions. What physical security exists regarding the building where the data is housed? Is the physical security good? Are there enough guards? What if a hacker went into the building, or someone purposely went and destroyed the major hard disk or computer your data may be stored in? How good is the cloud service provider's resistance to a natural disaster or power cuts? Do they have good natural disaster security provisions in place? Or are they housed in the middle of nowhere where the disasters are prone? What safeguards exist regarding personnel who work for the cloud service company? Can they use their authorization codes to access confidential data for monetary purposes? This basically means whether the personnel are reliable or not. Will they use their advantage of having their authorization codes to look at your data? Many cloud services deny that any of their personnel look at cloud storage files that their users have uploaded. But there are still many concerns whether it may be happening, and the trust on many of the employees working in a cloud service provider. The next security worry that arises in cloud storage is data loss. There is a risk that important and irreplaceable data could be lost from cloud storage facilities. Actions from hackers, gaining access to accounts, or farming attacks, for example, could lead to loss or corruption of your data. Users need to be certain sufficient safeguards exist to overcome these potentially very harmful risks. An example would be that some of you may know, in late September 2014, 3 breaches of security involving 2 of the largest cloud service providers showed why many of the above fears made people a little nervous about using the facility to store their very important files that they hold much value to. And a very popular celebrity scandal where interesting photos, nearly 100 of them, were leaked. Hackers that gained access to a number of cloud accounts, which enabled them to publish the photos on social networks and to sell them to certain publishing companies. All the reasons above have made individuals and companies nervous about using cloud service providers, though there are still many advantages to using this amazing piece of software or hardware that exists in our world. I hope everyone has enjoyed the video and has more insight on whether they should use cloud storage or leave it alone for now. But we can say that cloud storage is the future of storage, definitely. And right now, yes, the negatives are slightly above the advantages, but then again, what do we know? The technological world is so advancing that for all we know, cloud security and cloud storage could be the next big thing. And don't worry about using your hard drive. Yes, natural disasters can occur, and yes, it is easier to steal a physical device like this hard drive than to hack certain large corporations that have cloud service providers. So thank you very much for watching. It's been a great episode. I hope all of you have enjoyed, and as always, see you in the next one. Bye.